You got into an argument online last week, maybe about politics. You felt your heart rate spike, your jaw tighten. You typed something you probably shouldn't have. Later, you wondered, why did I care so much? It's just some stranger on the internet. Or maybe you've caught yourself checking your phone for the 15th time in an hour. Not expecting anything, just checking. And some part of you knows it's weird, but you do it anyway. What if I told you I could explain both of those behaviors and virtually everything else you do with one simple framework? What if you could understand everything you do and why you do it, and what everyone else does and why they do it? That's what this video is about. Here's something that should be front page news, but somehow isn't. Scientists have essentially figured out why humans behave the way we do. Not in some vague, hand-wavy sense, in a concrete, explanatory way that accounts for almost everything. From why you're tribally loyal to a political party, to why heartbreak feels like physical pain, to why you bought that thing you didn't need. This framework has been understood for decades. It draws on evolutionary biology, neuroscience, psychology. The evidence is overwhelming, and yet, few of us know about it. There's no Netflix documentary called Why Humans Do What We Do. It's not taught in high school. Your parents didn't explain it to you. Most people go their entire lives without ever hearing it laid out clearly. We have hundreds of documentaries about specific historical events. There are documentaries about fonts, about competitive tickling, about earthworms. I looked it up, there are several. But a clear, accessible explanation of why you behave the way you do, good luck finding that. That strikes me as genuinely strange. This is arguably the most important knowledge a person could have, understanding yourself and others. And it's buried in academic books that normal people don't read. So let me try to fix that. In the next 15 minutes or so, I'm going to give you the framework. And I think once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. Let's start with a question. What do you think drives human behavior? Most people would give a scattered list. Love, fear, greed, curiosity, ambition, habit, religion, culture. It seems impossibly complex. Billions of people making trillions of decisions for countless different reasons. But here's the thing. You can collapse almost all of it down to one root drive: reproductive fitness. Now wait. Before you click away thinking this is going to be some reductive, everything is about sex argument, hear me out. It's more interesting than that. Evolution doesn't care about your happiness. It doesn't care about your fulfillment, your spiritual growth, or your dreams. Evolution cares about one thing: whether you reproduce and whether your offspring survive to reproduce. But here's the crucial insight. Evolution doesn't install goals in us, it installs rewards. Think about that distinction. No deer is running from a wolf thinking, I must survive to pass on my genes. The deer is thinking something like, terror, run. The fear feels like something. The deer doesn't need to understand evolutionary theory. It just needs to experience fear so intensely that it runs. Same with sex. Evolution didn't program humans to have babies. It programmed humans to experience overwhelming desire, to find certain features attractive, to feel intense pleasure during sex. The reproduction happens as a byproduct of chasing those feelings. This is the key to everything. We are reward-chasing machines. Evolution built your brain to pursue pleasure and love, and to avoid fear and pain. You chase the good feelings, you flee the bad ones. And historically, the things that felt good were the things that helped your ancestors reproduce. Eating calorie-rich food, having sex, being accepted by the tribe, achieving status, pursuing comfort, protecting your children, forming alliances, being vigilant, acquisitive, pugnacious, and many more. These primal hungers were the mechanism by which nature made sure you reproduced. Gene propagation is nature's only aim, and these primal hungers are its tools. It is vitally important that you understand what these primal hungers are and the mayhem they can cause in your life. Your brain is running on ancient software. Software designed for small tribal groups on the African savanna tens of thousands of years ago. Software that doesn't know about Instagram, about fast food, about politics, about any of it. You're executing old code in a new environment. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable. You probably feel like you're in control of your decisions. You weigh options. You reason. You choose. That's what being human is, right? We're not just animals following instinct. We think. Well, yes and no. There's a famous set of experiments done on split brain patients. People who had the connection between their brain hemispheres surgically severed to treat severe epilepsy. Researchers could show information to one hemisphere that the other hemisphere couldn't see. In one experiment, they showed the right hemisphere the word walk. The patient stood up and started walking. But here's the thing. The left hemisphere, which handles language, didn't see that command. So when the researchers asked the patient why they stood up, the left hemisphere, having no idea about the real reason, instantly made something up. I wanted to get a Coke, or I needed to stretch. The patient wasn't lying. They genuinely believed their explanation. Their brain fabricated a plausible story and presented it as the truth. This is what neuroscientists and psychologists now believe is happening all the time in normal brains. Your decisions are largely made by unconscious processes, by those ancient reward-chasing systems we talked about. And then a verbal, narrative part of your brain constructs a story about why you did what you did. Jonathan Haidt calls this part of your brain the press secretary. Its job isn't to make decisions. Its job is to justify decisions that have already been made and make them sound rational and intentional. Think about the last argument you had. Did you carefully reason your way to your position? Or did you feel something strongly and then find arguments to support what you already felt? If you're being honest, it was probably the second one. You think you're the president. You might actually only be the press secretary. Let's make this concrete. Let's walk through a single day and I'll annotate what's actually happening. Your alarm goes off. You hit snooze. Why? Future consequences feel abstract. The immediate reward of comfort and warmth is tangible. Your brain evolved to prioritize immediate rewards because for most of human history, the future was uncertain. Grab what you can now. You check your phone before getting out of bed. Why? Variable reward schedule. The same psychological mechanism that makes slot machines addictive. Sometimes there's a text, sometimes there's not. That unpredictability makes the checking behavior compulsive. Your brain releases a little dopamine hit each time you look, whether there's something there or not. You pick out clothes. Why do you care what you wear? Status signaling and mate attraction. Even if you're not consciously trying to attract anyone, you're broadcasting information about your tribe, your resources, your taste. You want to be perceived well because reputation was survival in ancestral environments. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Your heart rate spikes. You feel genuine rage. Why? This is vastly disproportionate to the actual harm. You lost 2 seconds. But your brain interprets it as a status challenge, a dominance move. In a small tribal group, letting someone disrespect you without response could affect your standing, your access to resources, your reproductive prospects. So your brain treats a minor traffic incident like a threat to your survival. You sit in a meeting. Someone takes credit for your idea. You feel that hot flush of injustice. Again, disproportionate. But reputation and credit mattered enormously in small groups. Your brain is calibrated to care intensely about fairness and recognition. You eat lunch. You choose the burger and fries over the salad, even though you told yourself you'd eat healthy. Why? Calorie-dense food was scarce for most of human history. Your brain rewards you powerfully for consuming fat, sugar, and salt. It doesn't know there's a McDonald's on every corner now. It thinks you might not eat again for days. You scroll social media for an hour. Why? Tribal monitoring. In a small group, it was crucial to know who was allied with whom, who was up, who was down, who was mating with whom. Gossip was survival information. Social media hijacks this drive and offers you infinite tribal drama to monitor. Your brain can't tell it's not your actual tribe. You see a political post you disagree with. You feel contempt, maybe anger. Why? Politics has become tribal identity. An attack on your political position feels like an attack on your tribe, which feels like an attack on you. The content of the position almost doesn't matter. What matters is which team you're on. You lie in bed and feel a vague sense that you should be doing more with your life. Where does this come from? Status anxiety. In ancestral environments, complacency could mean falling behind rivals, losing standing, reduced access to mates and resources. Your brain is designed to be perpetually slightly dissatisfied, always reaching for more. Contentment wasn't adaptive. You're not crazy. You're not broken. You're not uniquely flawed. You're a human running on human software. Let me zoom in on one piece of this, because it explains so much of what seems insane in our society. Tribalism. For hundreds of thousands of years, humans lived in small groups of maybe 50 to 150 people. Your tribe was everything. Being accepted meant survival. Being rejected meant death. Alone on the savannah, you wouldn't last long. So your brain evolved to be exquisitely sensitive to tribal dynamics. Who's in? Who's out? Who's with us? Who's against us? What does my tribe believe, and am I in good standing? Now look at modern political polarization. Left versus right, red versus blue. And every new issue that emerges, cryptocurrency, AI, vaccines, whatever, quickly gets sorted into the tribal binary. Each side adopts a position, and then millions of people adopt that position too. Not because they've reasoned through it, because their tribe has spoken. Here's a test. Think about your own political views. How many of them align with your chosen tribe? Probably most of them. And how many of those positions did you reason your way to independently versus absorb from your political environment? If you're being honest, tribal absorption probably accounts for most of it. And here's the really uncomfortable part. The tribal identity comes first. The positions come second. People think they join a political tribe because of their principles. It's more likely that they adopt principles because of their tribe. This explains why political debates are so heated and so pointless. You think you're debating ideas. You're actually engaged in tribal conflict. The ideas are just weapons. It also explains why people can flip positions when tribal winds shift. Free speech used to be a left-wing cause. George Carlin, Lenny Bruce, the Berkeley free speech movement. Now it's more associated with the right. Did the underlying principle change? No. The tribal valence shifted. People aren't loyal to principles, they're loyal to tribes. The principles are negotiable. Okay, so humans are tribal, reward-chasing animals running ancient software in a modern world. Everything we do can be traced back to drives that evolved to help us survive and reproduce. So what? What do we do with this information? First, self-compassion. You can stop beating yourself up for being irrational. You're not irrational. You're an animal executing a program. The program isn't designed for your happiness or your productivity or your modern goals. It's designed for reproduction. Knowing this, you can be gentler with yourself when you fail at being a perfectly rational creature. You were never supposed to be one. Second, understanding others. That person who disagrees with you politically, they're not evil, they're not stupid. They're running the same software you are, just sorted into a different tribe. The person who cut you off in traffic isn't a monster. They're a human reacting to their own status anxieties and time pressures. This doesn't mean you have to accept bad behavior, but it can drain some of the venom from your interactions. Third, strategic awareness. Once you see the strings, you can sometimes resist being pulled by them. Not always, the drives are powerful, but you can notice when you're about to fire off an angry tweet and ask, is this actually important, or is my tribal software being triggered? You can notice when you're doom scrolling and recognize it as a hijacked monitoring instinct. Awareness isn't control, but it's a start. Fourth, humility. Your cherished beliefs, your sense of identity, your confident positions. Most of it is downstream of tribal loyalty and reward chasing. That doesn't make your beliefs wrong, but it might make you hold them a little less tightly, a little more willing to question. I said at the beginning that this framework should be more widely known, that it's strange nobody talks about it. I still believe that, but I think I understand why a little better now. This knowledge isn't flattering. We want to believe we're rational agents making free choices. We want to believe our opinions are reasoned, our identities authentic, our conflicts meaningful. Being told that we're mostly just monkeys chasing ancient rewards and defending tribal turf, that's not a story we want to hear about ourselves. But I think it's more compassionate than the alternative. The alternative is thinking everyone is crazy, that you're surrounded by irrational people behaving inexplicably, that the world is chaos, that you yourself are broken whenever you don't live up to impossible standards of rationality. The truth is simpler and kinder. We're animals. We're built to chase certain rewards. We're running old software in a new environment, and we're all doing it together. We'll further break down these primal hungers in future episodes. Please subscribe. Thanks for watching.